My bad. I had to yawn. But what's up? What's up? What's up? I decided to come back on for a few minutes because earlier when I did my live India talk, not completing, we're almost complete with this series of reflecting upon when my ex strategically orchestrated locking me up, reasons only he will know. But I did my due diligence of figuring out why he placed me in that hospital and demanding to put me on that medication. Today was the day that I found out. So I did a whole live on it earlier. But I was reporting live from the park and there was so much going on. And then I don't know what it is. Every time I get on live, my daughter has to go to the potty. And it was just a lot trying to like hold my phone and do all that stuff. So I just wanted to get back on. We're outside right now in the backyard. Uh, I am so sorry. I have definitely been up since 4 a.m. though, so my life just has not been the same since becoming a mom. But let me know what's up, what's up. Let me know if you were on the live earlier, if you have any questions. If you have any questions. If you weren't on the live, I just shared that today, this day last year, is when I finally was able to piece together why that man was so adamant and demanding to put me on that medication and to have a psychosis, a diagnosis on me. And it was because he was not only just poisoning me, well, yeah, unbeknownst to me, he was doing stuff to me unbeknownst to me. I was having symptoms of things, but I never thought that it was coming from him prior to this lockup happening. But while I was there, today made day 16 of me being locked up in there, and I was also sharing with you that I had spoke to him three different times on the phone. By this time, by day 16, I've only spoken to him twice. And each time, he would not give me feedback about our daughter. When I asked about her, inquired about her, he wouldn't say anything besides this is exactly what he said and how he said it. You better hurry up and get home. Your daughter's getting sick. That's what he would say to me. And I'd be like, what does that mean? And what do you mean she's getting sick? And if she is sick, like if she's throwing up, I'm thinking just regular stuff. I'm like, be a freaking dad, bro. I'm there doing that shit all by myself all the time. And you put me here. So if she's not feeling good, be a fucking dad and take care of her. It wasn't until the second time that he really said it, and the way that he said it was was helping me connect the dots of like, oh, you're doing something to our daughter. Like my daughter has a severe speech delay, and she can't advocate for herself. She can't say what anybody is doing to her, and so that was what I was advocating while I was there, locked up. Of like, they're doing stuff to my kid, and they just told me I'm being paranoid, I'm being crazy, and I'm like, no, his mother, I'm not around to protect my daughter, so I know she's beating the brakes off my daughter just because she wants to, and she's been wanting to, but I've been around and not letting her. So now I'm not there, and he doesn't take care of his kids. He gives them to his mom. So I know, but at that point in time, I knew at least my daughter is being physically harmed for nothing, for playing, making noises, and just being herself. So I was like, today when I was able to connect the dots of like, oh, that's what he keeps saying. You better hurry up and get here. Your daughter's getting sick. Not even our daughter. Nothing that like a joint union, a joint family. Just like you better hurry up and get home because your daughter's getting sick. Like, what are you gonna do about it? And that's all he would say. And it was in a very chastising a way that I took heed to it the first time, but that second time with the emphasis and the amplification on it, I was just like, okay. And on top of that, the meds that he wanted me to be on in there, he had access to. He had access to those medications at his job. He still works at that job, and he has access to that medication. And then his dad was really sick, and he had access to his dad's medication. So that's why I was in there smelling like his dad on the first day and fucking smell like iodine. And so with all these days happening and all the stuff that was transpiring, it was today that I was just like, oh, because I read my journal earlier. I don't have it with me right now, but basically everything that I was writing in my journal while I was just there away with just my thoughts, my mind, all really happened. And these freaking doctors were telling me that I was being paranoid and my husband wouldn't do that and that he really cares about me and it's all in my fucking head. And I wish that I could see Dr. W and freaking Barney and the lawyer because everything that I said was happening while I was there really was happening. Stay this way, baby. And it got progressively worse as I got out. It didn't get better. That freaking psychiatrist tried to tell me that this was gonna make my relationship better. How is somebody poisoning me and poisoning their own freaking kid gonna make my relationship better? Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, today was the day that I had that I said that. Well, I'm not responding to negativity, and I'm not responding to sexually inappropriate comments. So, come correct or don't come at all. Thank you. I'm always enjoying my life with my daughter. I am working on getting back on my feet. Elvis, I should write a book. I should when I have the time. I really don't have the time. If y'all see me on my lives, like I can't. I don't have time to have like isolated time. I can't even over explain. I've been saying it, and people can see it. People make comments and stuff. So I don't know. When God allows me to have the time, I will. So all I can do right now is try to show up for myself daily and be on here and get it out verbally when I have that because I even struggle with that. There's so much going on. um, so when God allows me to have the isolated time to really like sit down and focus and like write and create, because I said that I said when I get out of here, yo, I'm going to turn this shit into a movie, a documentary, a, a book, a series, all types of shit, a docu series. Just wait. And life just got it just got progressively worse. It got progressively crazy, and then this year I've been running away and been in hiding and been going through a lot of stuff. So I'm just now getting settled and being able to like kind of have some peace and kind of start processing and healing. But um, I will. So thank you for that. Namaste. Uh, y'all names be killing me, but namaste. I'm saying what's going on in the kitchen because I don't know what it's cooking. Hi, Mustafa. Hi, Mr. President. Hi, Mikey Brown. Hi, Kwamar. Bonjour, Hussein. Husan. Hussein. I don't know. Jesus loves you. Hi. I like your name. Okay. So yeah, I was just coming back to touch base about that. Um yeah, so everything I was saying in there was true. I came out a few days later. So I'm gonna finish up this series even though it's been a struggle to try to finish it. Um And a couple days from now, I got out and nothing got better. It got darker and I was more isolated. I was more medicated. I was more sedated and I was more poisoned. And so was my child. And it was just in there, me and her, like afraid of this man and me trying to like reach out to people and my phones was tapped. That was the other thing. I had a dream. Like I had a dream and I told the doctor and I was like, I never have dreams. And when I do have dreams, they're premonitions of things that are happening in real time, already happened, and I'm gonna find out about it or it's gonna happen. So I told her I had a dream. Everything I said in there, they said I was crazy. I said, when I go home, I'm gonna be under surveillance. There's gonna be cameras in that house. He's gonna have people watching me. He's doing something to our daughter, and he cut his hair because like I grew his locks. I started my locks, and that was the other thing. That was the that was the other thing. I thought like we were so such a bond because everything that I would do, he would want to be a part of it. And now I knew that. Now I know that that's strategic and manipulation. But like I grew his locks, so I was like, he cut his hair. Oh my God, girl, you look so beautiful. Thank you, Job. Um, and so I told the psychiatrist that, and she was just like, "It's all in your head, India. You're so grandiose." And I was just like, "Bitch, I know enough what I'm talking about. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm a natural psychologist. Like I don't even go to school for this shit. And my brain, my intuition is not wrong." And so two out of those three things was true. I came home to being under surveillance. He had given his friends and other people my number. I don't know these people, they're not my friends. And they were texting me every day and being like, "Hey, how's your mental health today? How are you feeling? Are you feeling mentally ill? Are you feeling psychotic? Are you feeling depressed?" Like people, I didn't give these motherfuckers my number. And then my phone and my computers were, he put some kind of device or some kind of tracking system on it. So I left and my computers were gone. They were no longer in the little area that I made as a desk where I would get on my laptops every day and do my work. He had put them in the back room with him. When I asked him for them, he was like, "Oh, I moved them." When he had no really valid reason to move them. When I got my laptops back and I got back on them, and I'm telling you, they were speaking out loud. Like whatever I would type, it would be a computerized voice saying out loud what I'm typing and like the location and like where I was. And I was like, "What the hell did you put on my laptops?" And he just played dumb. He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "Why are my laptops talking out loud?" And then my phone was also doing the same thing. And it was recording. It was saying like where I was and where I was going, like how long I was on the phone and if I was texting. And he's very tech savvy. So I couldn't use my phones. I couldn't use my phone. I couldn't use my laptops because I'm like, these shits are tracked. I came out like police were following me around. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like things just got so progressive. So progressively worse. Hi Sunku. He has risen. Hi Sanjeev. What's up? Welcome. So I wish that I could see Dr. W again to tell her, "Bitch, I'm not crazy. And everything that I was telling you in there was true. And everything that I said about the dream that I had was true, except he hasn't cut his hair, which I wish that he would, because I grew his fucking hair and he has some other woman or man. I don't know at this point in time. Hi, Lion. Hi, Elizabeth. I don't know at this point in time anymore, but he has somebody else doing his hair, which is very disrespectful because I had several arguments with him about not letting me retwist his hair, like neglecting my hair and trying to like keep his upkeep going. So, yeah, I just wanted to get back on because I didn't get to finish earlier. And then I didn't know if you guys had any questions or feedback or wanted to engage about my daily India talk, my series. This was day 16. And I was in there researching the medication that I was on, and I'm like, he's giving this to our daughter. Like, I would not, nothing in my mind doubted that at that point, once I was able to connect the dots. It took me 16 days, but I connected the dots, and then I was on real paranoia, and they're like, I gotta hurry up and get home to my baby. So how much longer are you gonna keep me in here? Now I'm taking the medication. I'm doing all this fucking treatment, and I'm taking the medication. When the fuck are you gonna let me out of here? I got to get home to my kid. Like, she's in danger, and I don't care if y'all not listening to me. Like, I can't speak to my kid. I haven't talked to her, and he interrupted God's time, the time that God gave me. I birthed this girl, and God blessed me with 4 years, because she was still four at that time, of not missing a day, a minute, a milestone, a memory out of her life. And he interrupted God's time. You think that karma's not going to whoop his ass? You don't think that karma's going to dog walk him and his mama? Yes. Especially after everything that I went through. And then after, this is how dumb. That's why I was like, maybe I do have a mental health issue, because why am I still trying to work it out with you? Why am I still trying to be like, oh, what is it about me? What can I work on? What can I do more to fix my relationship? And the damn therapist had me in therapy writing apology letters. And what am I apologizing for? So yeah. What's my name? My name is India, like the country, aka Mrs. Turn Your Life into a Lifestyle. Because I teach people how to build a life, not a resume. I think it's very important for you to build a life, because you are here to live and not exist, and you were not born to work a job and pay bills and die. Like, abundance and prosperity and living life of luxury is your birthright. So my name is India. Sounds like you done whipped up some for him and his mama. Don't miss out on your husband chasing your boyfriend love. First of all, that man told people that he was my husband. And that's a mistake on me, because I had started calling him my husband, and his mom, my mother in law, and his father, my father in law, his brother, my brother in law. I had to give them all those titles that they didn't earn. I never got a ring, and we never got married. And be careful with what you say, what you seek, because you will always receive it. So he was able to use this title that I gave him against me in the most ironic way. But I'm not chasing a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm single. And I'm not really looking for a boyfriend or a husband, to be totally honest. I'm healing from a man who traumatized me and his child. So I'm just sharing my story. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Hi, Philly team. Hi, Tony. Okay, yeah. I'm not tapping into the negativity. So if you don't have any questions, I'm just gonna wrap this up. I just want to finish. I think, what else was I talking about earlier that I didn't get to? My live got cut off, or I had to end it. I was sharing the clear observation of like how my family felt about me, how I was begging and pleading them to call the cops, and my sister said she would, and she lied. She just hung up the phone and continued doing her laundry. Like, these are things that I'm just never gonna forget for the rest of my life. My brother has told me, figure it out, do what you gotta do to get yourself out of this situation. And my mom said she's in a different state, so she can't call 911, even though 911 is universal. So I was just like, wow, this is an eye opening, traumatizing, unbelievable situation. And wait till I get the fuck out of here. Oh, Chris. What's up? What's up? That just made me so excited. Yo, I gave you some homework and you did it. That's fucking dope. I fucks with you. Yes, I will have happier days. I'm always smiling. What are you talking about? Um, I'm just sharing, just reflecting. Like, obviously, when I was going through this, I wasn't smiling. I was going batshit fucking crazy and screaming and pleading for motherfuckers to help me who just was like, wow, she's paranoid. Wow, she's emotional. Wow, she doesn't remember being married. She's crazy. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So what did you think about the episode? Let me know. So it wasn't the lady, it was the character, the guy. He was bisexual. The character Jay, he's bisexual. And he had sex with the pillow. The pillow was supposed to be his girlfriend. And then in that particular episode, she gets pregnant and she has a baby. But him and his insecurities, like Jay is the only one who doesn't have a hormone monster. So if you go and watch a couple more episodes, you'll see that every character has a hormone monster that pops up when they're feeling horny and sexual and they like have these crazy thoughts and stuff. This monster pops up that only they can see and they say the things that they want to say. Jay, ironically, is the only one that doesn't have a hormone monster. And Jay is the only character who's bisexual. He's the only one having sex with a freaking pillow, and the pillow is dirty and disgusting. And then the pillow has a baby, and then him and his insecurities that he never deals with. Once they had the kid, he no longer wanted to have sex with the pillow. This show is so sick, yo. He no longer wants to have sex with the pillow because she had a kid. Now he's disgusted by her and the kid and jealous of the kid. And then he accused her of the kid not being his because she probably slept with his brother, which is a lie, okay? And then he starts going and having sex with whatever men that he was already having sex with. Like he was the one that's sexually active. She was in love with him. The pillow was in love with him. And he was the only one that had all these sexual partners. And then his insecurities, he would project them onto her. So once she had the baby, he was saying, "Oh, it's probably my brother's anyways, because I seen you looking at my brother." So I'm like insecure, down low shit. And then he doesn't get with another female. He just has sex with more men, and then he starts having sex with um the bath rag, the little mat that you have when you get out the bath. He starts having sex with the bath mat. That's what I can remember off the top of my memory. I also think that he tried to make me watch that particular episode because I told you I have a thing with numbers. So that episode is number 6, and then in that episode, there's the number 40 all the time. So every time he's having sex with the pillow, he's like, "I'm fucking 40. I'm fucking 40." It was weird, and then it goes off with him having sex with the bath mat, and then he's like saying that like, "Oh, I'm fucking 40, I'm fucking 40," and then it ends with him saying 41, as almost like he won and like he got the level up, and he's he's playing a mind game with me. So I think that him making me watch that, I thought it was gonna drive me stir crazy because they mentioned the number 40 so many times. um and then just like that whole thing, but what I had to pay attention to was that bisexual part. Like I had to research that and really understand that episode. I have not been able to talk to anybody about this, and I've told my psychiatrist, I'm like, please watch this, like I'm not crazy, and nobody would like look into it. So yo, I'm so glad that you watched that, Chris. You make me so happy. Was I in a cult? No, never been. That was wild. Hi, Howard. I never ever gonna watch that. Yeah, the brother is the father. Oh, then maybe that's not. So I did a Google search and read specifically about the character Jay, and when like how I was breaking down like how he was, which has made me think because he used to say like that was his favorite character. Like I just never understood the show. When I would see him watch it, I would go in another room or something. I'm like, "What do you like about this show?" And he's just like, "You just have to be mentally mentally there to understand it. Because he was always trying to be like, you can't be emotional understanding. Like you have to be logical. I'm logical and you're emotional, so you're not gonna understand this show. But he would compare other characters to people that we knew in real life. And I remember him saying like Jay was his favorite character. So when I did the research and read about him being bisexual, that's what started to get my gears going. And specifically that episode of the things that I seen in the episode. When I was watching it, I was crying and I was like, why the fuck did you fast forward this to this episode? Because he knew I was like, I'm gonna start watching this show every so she told me it was about emotions. And now that I know that it's about hormones and dealing with sexuality, makes me wonder about a lot of shit. How old am I? I'm seasoned. I'm sorry. I'm going through the same shit too, Cassandra. So God bless you. That's him telling you what he is. Thank you. Okay, after I watched it, I cried. And I was like, what the fuck are you trying to tell me? And what is this? Because at first, because the episode is so sexual and there's like a lot of sex. At first, I was like, are you trying to tell me that I'm not giving him enough sex? Like, what is this? So I had to, until I researched the character and understood about the bisexuality and like the sickness and that gluttony of like never having enough, and it doesn't matter how many nuts you bust and it doesn't matter who you get the nut from. I had to research all that part, but when I first watched it, I was like, but then it was fucking on my head because I'm like, no, I've literally been having 3 years of arguments about with this man about having sex with me. Like I'm begging him to have sex with me, so it can't be that you're trying to show me something else and you want me to fixate on the number 40 and the number 6. Nah, there's something deeper here. So most definitely him trying to tell me something. I don't know. So I just put that out there. I'm so glad that you watched the episode though. But that means a lot to me that you did that. And I'm sorry that you feel just as disgusted as I did. I'll never watch any of the episodes of that show. The show is sick. And people who like that shit is sick in the head, which makes a lot of sense. But that's what I got my gears tweaking, and then it made me start thinking about other times that we've been out, and he's always like, oh, this person is gay, that man is gay. Like he was looking at me. I think he's gay, and it was just like in the beginning, I never really paid any attention to it, but there's one particular person that we know business wise, and I really fucked with this person, and it just made me start thinking about like how hyper fixed he was on this man's sexuality. Now I don't know if the man is gay. I don't know that. I've never had that conversation. We always talk about business, and I always compliment him on how nice he dresses, and we just always have like good business vibes, and he's like just a breath of fresh air. He's always the person that's always talking about his sexuality so much that it makes me start to fixate on it. So it's just like, yeah, there's been a lot of signs. There's been a lot of signs. So I don't know. So if he is fighting those kind of demons, I'm sorry that I've been a part of that shit. And I was like, oh, I went through this. Like, I've only had 2 serious relationships, but I went through this with the previous guy that I was with for a long time. And that was something I try to talk about in therapy. Like, what is it about me that attracts bisexual men? And like, I don't know for sure. Like, unless I physically caught him in the act with another man, this is me just talking about shit that I see. And this person literally showed me some shit that I will never be able to get out of my head. And then it just made me start thinking about other things along this time that I spent with them. But yeah, yeah, that's not good to watch. He needs Jesus. Yo, that's what I used to think. I used to be like, why do you watch the show? This shit is sick. This shit is sick, yo. And he'd just be like, you don't understand it because you're emotional. You're not logical like me. But here's another man agreeing with me that that shit is sick. Like, how could you sit and watch this shit? This shit is sick and demonic and sexually deviant. So thank you. I thank you for checking that out. Yo, I fucks with you, Chris. Like, um, I hope to meet you one day. That's awesome. You just made my night, and I'm glad that I was able to see. I told you guys, like, this is so much more therapeutic for me talking about this out loud to people who may be interested, maybe not, but at least engaging with me and giving me some feedback or some insight or like provoking thought in some kind of way of like things that I've been overlooking. So I respect you, and I fucked with you, and thank you so much for doing that because you didn't have to, and I'm sorry that I put those things in your head because that was haunting me. Like after I watched that, it haunted me every day, and I couldn't say nothing. And then now that we're talking about this, that was the night before my first because I had been home for like 2 weeks, and then that was my that was the night before my first day of therapy. And that led into this day today of me writing a few weeks prior about him poisoning me and and doing shit to our daughter that night. Randomly, he gave my daughter a bath. I begged him, like, please help with bath time, bedtime routine, eating. He would never do none of those things. He's like, you're the mom. I don't do those kind of things. So he just got up and like gave her a bath. And then I had been home for a few weeks and he had been giving her something that was comatosing her. Like my daughter doesn't sleep. That's something definitely I've been dealing with for since I've had her and asking for him to like switch off with me and help me so that I could take a break or get sleep, what to help me. So I had to be like, what are you giving her that's knocking her out? And he would just try to be like, "Oh, it's on your head. I'm not giving her nothing. Like I'm just a dad. She easily goes to sleep with me." But this particular night, when he went to go give her a bath, I'm like, "Oh, something's wrong." So I left. And I said like a little prayer for my daughter. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna come back to, but it was important for me to get on cameras. I'm like, I gotta get on cameras and get on my phone, even if it's tracked. Because I don't know what's gonna happen. Because I knew that he was trying to get me locked back up since I had got out. It was very heightened and very amplified. So I had left. I took some pictures. I went and got on cameras at Walmart. I was not gone that long because the Walmart's literally right up the street. And I also had bought a Rubik's Cube because I'm like, this motherfucker's trying to play with my head, and I know I'm not crazy. I know I'm smart as fuck. And I had did some stories. I did stories because I was doing this all live. I was live tracking this on my Facebook and my Instagram. So I was tracking my stories. I'm like, at this point, I don't care who thinks I'm crazy. Something's gonna happen to me tomorrow. I'm like, I'm going to get locked back up tomorrow because I'm in here being tortured by this man. He's doing stuff to me and my daughter, and nobody's fucking believing me, yo. And I was like crying, taking pictures. I was just trying to catch evidence. I got back to the house. My daughter was comatose and she was burning up. I was like, where is the thermometer? And he wouldn't tell me. He was just like, I don't know, find it. And so I had to like rummage through the room, find the thermometer. She was burning up. It was like 104 temperature, and she was knocked out. And my daughter never goes to sleep that early. It never takes her. It takes her like 2-3 hours to eventually fall asleep. I've been dealing with this every day. So, and then prior the entire 2 weeks or 3 weeks that I had been home, he would be getting her out of the bed at like 4 in the morning and bringing her in the bathroom and trying to lock the door. And I'd be like, what are you in here doing? And I hear my daughter gagging and he's like shoving shit down her throat. And I had to bust in the door one day, like, what the fuck are you in here doing? And what are you giving her? And he tried to be like, oh, I'm giving her allergy medicine. Mind you, my daughter does take allergy medicine, but I always give it to her. She always gets it in the morning after her breakfast at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, never at no 4 a.m. And so I was just in that house afraid by myself. And I was just like, and then my daughter, she can't advocate and say anything. And I'm reaching out to people, I'm reaching out to family, I'm live doing this shit on social media. And everybody was just like watching. I always felt like I was um doing my own Blair Witch fucking project. I don't know what his problem was. I think he just didn't want to be with me anymore and didn't know how to tell me. I don't know. I came up with 101 conclusions. I don't know. I'm just sharing what happened to me because now he feels like I should reach out to him and that I should come back home, all types of stuff. I don't know what's up with this dude, man, but there I was very scared. So The next day, I had therapy. It was my first day of therapy, and I sat there that whole night. I watched that Stephen Big Mouth episode. He fed me a meatloaf dinner. That shit tastes like jail. I'm like, oh, I'm getting locked up tomorrow. The next day, I got up. I put on the same dress from July 26th. That was the same dress. I put that dress on. I was like, something's gonna happen to me today. And I don't know what, but something is because that same day before, the cops were harassing me. I was outside walking my daughter like I do every day, and the cops pulled up on me harassing me. And his some of his family are cops. So I was just like, oh shit, like I've been gone for 3 weeks. Who knows what they've been out here telling people and creating and trying to do on me. So the cops were harassing me. Thank God that the day before I was on the phone with his first mom and she heard it and she was like, oh, something really is going on. Like, no shit, Sherlock. I'm telling everybody and nobody believes me. So, anyways, I watched that super episode. He forced me to eat that meatloaf dinner that he made for me. And I stayed up. I was afraid to go to sleep. And in the morning, he did the same thing, give our daughter some medicine. And I couldn't do nothing about it. And then he was like, I'm taking her to my mom's while you go to therapy. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And I was like, well, are you going to have her back at the house? I told him to have her back at the house at 1 o'clock. He said, sure, I'll have her back here at 1 o'clock. I went to therapy. I tried to make some calls. I called people. I was like, please call the cops. Something's going to happen. I called his first mom because she was like, is there anything I could do? Like, you're really in danger. And I asked her to call the cops or to get in touch with the people at the play group that I take my daughter at. Because I'm like, everybody knows us there and everybody loves us. And we haven't been in months. Like, contact somebody. She got off the phone and instead of contacting anybody, she contacted this stupid motherfucker. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So that was at therapy. I couldn't say nothing in therapy, okay? Because at therapy, this lady's just trying to be like, this is your husband and he loves you. And like, what can you work on today? So I didn't say nothing. I got out of therapy. I drove so fast to the house, pulled up. Nobody was there. So I got in the house and I was just like, okay, let me give it a couple of minutes. Because it was like 1 o'clock on the dot. Let me give it a couple of minutes. And I got in the house and I started doing laundry. And then he FaceTimed me. It took about almost an hour because I was getting worried, like, oh shit, like he's not here. And then he as right when I was thinking of calling him, he FaceTimed me. And he FaceTimed me and I answer, I'm like, what's up? And this was his response. He said, oh good, you are there. And then right before I could respond, somebody was banging on the door. And I said to him, I said, oh shit, it sounds like the police is knocking out the door. He didn't say nothing. I took the phone, walked with me to the door. The banging would not stop until I opened the door. Open the door, guess what? It's the cops. And they're like, are you India? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what's up? And the author like, oh, we got a call that you are putting your kids in danger, that you're poisoning your kids, and we need to do a check-in for child endangerment for a 4-year-old and an 11-year-old. And I said, officer, I don't know what kind of sick games my husband, who ain't my husband, playing, but I'm on the phone with him right now and I don't have 2 kids. He has 3 kids. I have a 4-year-old who I've been waiting for an hour for him to bring her back to me. And I don't know where she is at this point in time. And he has an 11-year-old. He has a 4-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 20-year-old who doesn't live here, who lives in Florida. So I don't know what you're talking about. Me endangering a child? I would never endanger a kid. I love kids. And I'm like, I have a special needs kid. But I don't know where his 11-year-old is. The 11-year-old should be at school with his mama or wherever his mom is. He has, we're all different moms, different kids. So he was like, ma'am, calm down, calm down. And I'm like, no, because you're trying to tell me that this man is saying, I'm like, who called you? Who called and made this report? And so he tried to be like, oh, it was a mystery call. I can't reveal who called. And then he was like, do you want me to talk to your husband? Like, not on my fucking phone. And I hung up the phone on him because on the phone, he's screaming, like, oh, she's bipolar. She's bipolar. I'm just trying to figure out, is she all right? And I hung up the phone and I said, if you want to talk to him, you'll call him on his fucking phone. Here's the number. And he was like, okay, he left and he called the number. And I guess that spoke to him. I don't really know. I know that like 10 minutes I called him back and I'm like, bring my fucking daughter home, bro. Bring my fucking daughter home. I've been waiting for over an hour. I don't know what kind of games you're playing, but bring my fucking kid home now. I'm scared. And then he came there without my kid. And he came and he like backed me into a corner and he was like, I don't know who you think you are or what you think you have control over. And I just had to get quiet. I couldn't say anything. And I was like, please just go get my daughter. Like, I just want my daughter. Please go get my daughter. I don't know what's going on. And it seems like I can't say nothing. I can't talk. I just want to get my kid. And so he just stood there and stared at me like a death stare for like 5 minutes. Wouldn't say nothing. Like, I was like shit and bricks. Like, oh shit, I might have to kill this motherfucker because I'm not at this point. I'm no longer locked up in this fucking hospital, and you've been in here doing shit to me and my kid, and I can't say nothing. I can't advocate for myself. Now you're doing anonymous calls to the cops and trying to pin some shit on me. So everything that I was writing in my journal in that hospital was true. He wanted me on medication and have a diagnosis and giving stuff to my kid so he could use us to cancel each other out so that he could go on with his life. That's the only conclusion that I could come to tell you. But that was what was going on. And then he was like, oh, I'm gonna go get her from my mom. Then he took the car that I just drove to therapy. He took that car. Now all of a sudden I'm back with no car because he was monopolizing the car. And then his mom literally lives right up the street from where he was living, literally less than 5 minutes. When he comes back with my daughter, she's comatose again. And he comes out with a little drink in his hand. And he's like, oh, she literally just fell asleep. She just took a nap. She didn't take no nap. Boy, I woke her up at 8 o'clock this morning. Like, she slept through the night because you gave her some shit. So she slept all day. She ain't gonna be taking no nap. So I didn't say nothing. I got in the car. I tried to wake my daughter up. She was comatose. I like video recorded it, took some pictures. I sped to his mother's house. Now, mind you, I have not seen or talked to his mom since I cussed her the fuck out on the phone when I was locked up. And on my way over there, I called her and I was like, I owe you a big apology. Like, something's going on with your son. I thought it was all of y'all at the time. I was like, I thought it was all of y'all, but something's going on with your son, yo. And I'm coming over there right now. And so she was like, all right, come. And then I came and I gave her like some bullshit apology. And I was like, look at my daughter. She's comatose. I cannot wake her up. And this keeps going on every single day. And I'm like, was she with you since 8 o'clock this morning? And so she was like, yeah, she's been with me. And then she said something that I knew where she was in on it because she was like, you're overthinking it. She went to sleep because she's tired. She doesn't sleep much because of me. She was like, you're not doing a good job raising my granddaughter. I got in my car. I said, you have a great day. I got in my car and I left. I was crying. I'm like, damn, I have nobody to call. Nobody's believing anything that I'm saying. I'm going online sharing this shit. And me and my daughter's life is in fucking danger. And I had just like drove around until finally like she had woke back up, and then I had to go back in this house. I remember calling his friend too. I called one of his friends because I remember that he brought him up in a conversation and was saying like how he had ran into him and that he looked stupid because he had a big stupid beard now. But the reason that I called him is because his friend, like, I don't know him personally like that, but he shared some personal information about his friend with me a long time ago when we were doing a business trip together. And this friend supposedly was locked up in a psych ward too and also diagnosed with bipolar. So I started to put a lot of dots connected together because even the mom with the second kid with the 11-year-old, he says that she was diagnosed with bipolar and that she was in a psych ward. So I'm like, you are the common denominator. Everybody that's connected to you all of a sudden has mental health issues and are got these diagnoses and are locked up in a psych ward, and you're the common denominator. So it made me reach out to his friend. We had like a whole conversation about what was going on, and they were just saying like how they really felt about that person, and I was just like, it made me backtrack and think about. It made me back. Yes, yes, yes. His mom, they were all in it. His mom, the dad, the whole freaking family. I went through the whole summer of last year and all the way into the beginning of this year to really know how deep the rabbit hole goes. But it was all of them. And I remember the friend. Hold on, let me check in. I'm sorry because I was just going in. Booty Warriors, funny. I'm sorry. Do you talk about anything positive everywhere? Okay, let me report you. Get off my page, bro. Sis, whoever you are. Yeah, I don't know what his problem is, Chris. Hi, Jolty. Come back for more or something worse. Don't do it. Yeah. Hey, he called his boyfriend over. He probably did, yo. I don't know. I do know that before I got locked up, though, there was one day that was very suspicious. I went with my daughter to the play group that I was talking about, because they were doing a series at the farm, and it was early in the morning that we had to be there, and it was only for an hour, and then on this particular day, by the time I got back to the house, he was locked in the room, and when we came in the house, he opened the door swiftly. And he was like, "Oh, babe, I'm just in here with." I'd never even seen this man before. There was some man just sitting there, like, and he was like kind of hidden. He had like a big hoodie on. Now, mind you, I know all his friends that's been over to the house. There's like a handful of them, and I know all of them. I'd never seen this man before. So I just got in the house with my daughter because I think like maybe she had like an accident or something. So I had to like get her in the bathroom. But I thought to myself, like, why the fuck you got somebody over here at this time in the morning? Like, we ain't even been gone that long. And when I'm asking him if he wants to come to the stuff that I'm doing with his daughter, to be like a family and be involved with his kid and like learn about the stuff that she's doing, he didn't want no parts of it. But I was just like, damn, we weren't even gone that long. And you got some strange man that's a friend of yours that I've never seen locked in the back room with you. And then there was another day that he had some other man over there and they were sitting with their backs turned. Oh my gosh! So it gets strange, yo. There was a lot of strange stuff. So David Nelson, no, I wasn't. He was poisoning them and me. Birthday shout out to your sister Jenna Talia. Happiest birthday, Jenna Talia. I hope you have a great day. Hi, Daryl. Barack on Barack crime is at an all-time high. Sounds like the mother is complicit on their abuse. Yes, and she's also been abused. She was abused by the dad their entire relationship, and then the dad got sick and came back and played on her feelings and stressed her out even more. And continued to abuse her, but she allowed it, just like I allowed this man. Probably was on the Grinder app. Now, here's the thing. I never went through that man's phone, so I don't know what was on that man's phone. I do know that he was on a lot of apps that I wasn't on. Like he was on Snapchat and he bragged about how it was 24 hours and the stories disappeared. And so maybe he was. There was a lot of times like he would like sit, he had an OnlyFans account and he's like watching OnlyFans. Now I have seen him watching porn on his phone. It has always been girls and like shaking their butts and stuff like that. But there's been other times where he'll pull in the driveway certain different ways, and like I look out the window, like he's like got his phone tilted in a certain way that I can't see. I've never went through his phone, so I don't know what the fuck is on his phone. I learned from the guy I was dating before him never to go through a man's phone because I don't want to see what's on there, and I don't know what the fuck. I will never be able to get out my head the images. So, um, another thing that I do know though that is that our personal phones, I always had access to them. Like he had my code, I had his code. We've used each other's phones to like Google and look up some shit. I've never went through his phone though. When he got that work phone though, that's where it started to get suspicious though because he got that work phone, and then all of a sudden the work phone and his personal phone now had Face ID on it. And I never said anything, just things that I kept in. I never said anything, but I'm like, that's strange. Like, now all of a sudden your phone has face lock on it. And even if I wanted to use his phone or ask, like how we did previously, I would just put in his code and like Google something. Because our phones, we have the same phone, the same case, and all that stuff. Once he got that work phone, and then he would always try to like talk shit about the girls at his job, like, oh, these bitches are dumb. They all got BBLs. And he would make it seem like he doesn't like women with BBLs. But it was just all like very telling. So that's why I go with the bisexual route. Like I don't think it was just like trapped in the closet. I think it's just like that show, Chris. Like it doesn't matter where you get it from, who you get it from. It could be a it, a they, a them, a girl, a man. Just as long as you get whatever it is that you need to get. I don't know, but I'm traumatized, and I just felt like, well, if you didn't want to be with me or whatever's going on, I could accept it. You could literally just have told me. And then there was just times like he told me that he would leave me and his daughter to go live with that man. So there's that. And then there was a lot of times where I felt like he was trying to leave and then trap me in that house before locking me up. And he was just like, I'll leave you. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you don't have a job, you don't have any money, like all you have is this kid. And he's like, I don't care about you or this kid. I'll leave you and this kid. And I'll just be like, damn, like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, what do we do? And like, you're not leaving me here in this house. Like, I'm not staying in this house. I will leave if that's the case. So there was a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. What were they doing in the bathroom? No, they weren't in the bathroom. I think maybe I was just talking fast. They were in the back room, like in the house. We had a back room that I was trying to make into an office for us at first. Then I was trying to make it into a content room, a podcast room, and then I just was trying to make it into a bedroom so that we could have SEX because I was like literally begging and pleading for this person to be intimate with me. And I was just like, let's just make it a bedroom because my daughter was getting bigger. So the room that we were all in sharing, I'm like, this needs to be her room and we need to have our own space. And it was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't have time for that. And like, he would make it like his man cave. And it was just like a fucking mess. And I was like, I'm tired of living in your filth, like clean this shit the fuck up. And then like when I would try to clean it, he would just cuss me out and be like, don't come in here, don't touch nothing. So him and that man, whoever that man was, they were locked in that room that day that I came home. And I had only been gone an hour and it was early in the morning. So Jamin, hey girl, keep it up, you got this. Gaslighting is the worst. What is a BBL? A BBL is a Brazilian butt lift, like girls who get fake butts. And he would always be like, girls who do that are insecure, which I do agree that girls who do that are insecure. But I've also learned about narcissists and narcissism. Like people, I can't even say men, people who are narcissists prey on insecure people so that they can manipulate them and guide them and like mold them into whatever that they want them to be. So I was just like, yeah, you're probably gonna be girls. Plus, he runs the program at his job. So that boosts his ego. Like that job totally went to his head because it's the most money he's made at a job, and he has full control. He's the boss there, and everybody there smokes weed. So he tries to be like the cool boss, where everybody fucks with him and can lounge it. All that shit's gonna catch up with him. I'm not even worried about it, bro. Do you? Yo, who says something like that? What are you referring to exactly, Chris? He said a lot of things to me that I was just like, wow, you're not even trying to hide it anymore. I don't know what's going on with you and why you're talking to me like this and what's going on. I don't know. My love, are you ready to go? It is getting pretty dark out here. Um, but he was saying a lot of suspicious things to me, yo, and I was just like, wow. He was just treating me like the more that I begged and plead him to like love me and to like tap in with me and to like let's lock back in and like let's get that spark back and like let's start a new business. If you don't want to do these businesses anymore. And then literally the last time that we were intimate, like I haven't been intimate with anybody over a year now. But the last time that we were intimate, I literally had to force him to fuck me. My daughter's been locked in there now, so I can talk how I want to talk. I had to force him. Literally, I got completely naked because I was like, I'm not bugging. Like, you are rejecting me. And look at me. I don't need nobody to reject me. Like, I'm gonna see what the fuck is going on here. So I got totally naked. And I was like, what's up? My daughter was sleeping. It was like it was probably like 10, 11 o'clock at night. She was knocked out. And he just happened to be in the house this day. He wasn't like hanging out with his friends or he had just come in or whatever. And I was like, what's up? Are we gonna fuck or what, yo? Because I'm not bugging about how you're treating me. And if you don't want to be with me, like just say that. If you're not attracted to me anymore, just like what is it? Just say that. Like why are you not? And literally, he talked. He talked for like an hour, almost 2 hours, before he forcefully got on top of me, and it was the worst. The worst. It was the worst. The worst. And I was just like, yeah, it's not me. It's not me. Like, something else is going on. And, like, at this point in time, I kind of regret making him to me that day because I don't know who he's been with. And, like me, I've been open with this person. I haven't been with anybody else since we've been together. And I don't know what he's been doing and where he's been putting anything or doing anything. So, yeah, I do regret that. It was the worst. The worst. And honestly, the past 3 years, that's why I said I'll eat the L. Like, this was my fault. This was my fault because I had started tracking the sex because that's how bad the sex had got 3 whole years ago. And I started tracking it because when I would talk to him about it, he would try to gaslight me and say, like, that's not what's going on. We just had sex this day or this day. Well, I'm like, you're a man. Like, men usually need to have sex every single day. Or like, there's not no once a month. And then he would try to blame it on me, like, oh, you only want me when it's that time of the month. He would just project everything back onto me. But I'm like, no. So I started documenting it in an app and showing him, like, look, I'm not crazy. Look, it's literally once a month. And the once a month is horrible because he would do all the things that I don't like sexually. And it would be like quick and like forced and no effort, no romance, no. Ugh. So it's all my fault, yo. I, God made that man bring me to the hospital because, and like isolate me even more and do all these things to show like you are not getting it. Like, this person doesn't like you, doesn't want to be with you. You're begging, you're pleading, and like my whole relationship was a relationship of loss. Like, I'm missing certain body parts because I'm trying to love this man and like birth his kids. I only got one kid to show for it. And there's lots of other red flags and lots of other signs. And I was just like, oh, no, I'm gonna mold this man, and we're gonna have this amazing family, amazing business empire, and like people are jealous of us, and a lot of people, and then so many people was warning me like to never date him, and like so many people are like, what do you see in him? Like, he's not a good person, men and women. And I was just like, damn, like, everybody hating on my relationship. They're jealous of what I got. They're jealous of what we're building. Stuck on seafood, yo. Literally. So yeah, been through the worst, now living the best. I love that for you, J Man. 1 year, wow, something's going on. Yeah, it was longer than 1 year. Gym girl definitely gets better. That guy was a waste bag. Yep, I hear you. You got it figured out now. Yeah, right now I'm just literally trying to get back on my feet with me and my daughter because this trajectory changed the whole trajectory of my life and the path that I was on. And like, I'm literally starting from scratch, but also starting from a lot of experience. But I'm just like have had a lot of information overload, and there's just so much going on. My daughter, and then like where we're at is oh, you okay? You hurt yourself? Okay, give it a kiss. We're gonna go in and take a bath. I gotta look at it in the light. So I gotta wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for checking in with me. Thank you, Chris Watts. You're amazing for looking into what I was saying, giving me some feedback. Thank you for everybody else that tuned in, David, Jamin. Thank you for your positive engagement and your feedback and just helping me with my therapy session and helping me gain some clarity and giving me positive outlooks for the future moving forward. I really do appreciate it. And I want to leave you with my three messages as always, which is one, don't let anybody label you because those who try to label you want you to live in lack and not your purpose. They see something in you that they don't want you to see for yourself. And they want you to wake up every day and live to this label and shrink yourself to a label so that you don't reach your full potential and your purpose. And so you were born here for a divine reason and divine purpose, not a label. So don't let anybody ever label you. Two, don't let anybody, hi Aaron, welcome. I'm wrapping it up. Don't let anybody put you in a box. Those who try to put you in a box is simply because they cannot get out of theirs. And three, don't forget, thank you for the compliment. Don't forget to turn your life into a lifestyle. You do that by saving yourself through participating through your own rescue. And if you're able to save yourself and participate in your own rescue, you no longer will live up to the person that your parents want you to be. You will no longer live up to who society tries to mold you to be. And you will no longer live up to the person that the job systems and the school system try to create you to be. You were born for a purpose, for a reason. Abundance and prosperity is your birthright, and you are born to live, not just exist. So that's why my message is to turn your life into a lifestyle. Live, figure out your life, tap into yourself more and out of the world less, so that you can learn how to build a life and not a fucking resume. So you're very welcome, and have a blessed day. Have a blessed night. Damn, it's almost 8:30. I gotta get my daughter in the bath and try to have some me time. So tune in for tomorrow, day 17. I'll be reading another journal entry, and hopefully I could do it from a place where I have some more isolated time like I did right now. This was great. Maybe I need to get on at this time and not try to get on earlier at the park time because the park's crazy. But anyways, yes, I love you guys. Peace and blessings, peace and love, and have a great night. Until tomorrow.